Coming into this one, Lahoud, Pep Guardiola, they had a midweek match to make up for the game that they had in hand. And it worked well for them, for him, resting players against Crystal Palace. They got the win. It's kept them within 2 points reach of Arsenal. Now, you wonder if maybe he rested his players looking ahead to this weekend, FA Cup final against Chelsea. I mean, what's the mentality that he has coming into this game? Because I'm sure in the back of his mind, he's thinking about the fact that this is their fourth FA Cup final, but they lost the last two.
Yeah, he's also going to be thinking about, I think, potentially the bigger match, which could be the Bournemouth match. This is equally as big. But if you're Pep Guardiola, this is different from the previous FA Cup finals. Going back to the one against United, they'd already won the league. They look like they'd literally come from the pub or wherever they had the celebrations. And they literally almost looked like they played hungover. They were that poor on the day. Last season, their season was just crescendoing towards this miserable end of the season where it was getting Champions League or bust for City. That was their number one focus. Take nothing away from what Crystal Palace did to win their first ever major trophy in club history. Now, going to this match, it's a bit of a tricky one because Pep Guardiola has something that maybe he didn't have for much of the season, where he's getting bodies back. He's getting depth back. He's getting key figures back for Manchester City. And my big thing, I don't question the mentality. I have a question is, who does he go with? How does he line up for this? Because he has a lot of options. And he also has this end of an era feeling for some key members. You think of your John Stoneses, you think of potentially your Nathan Akes, and of course, someone you're going to get into, Bernardo Silva. So City, their mentality is win, win, win. They're going to take this very seriously. How could you not? It's a cup final.
I agree, but he's also got to have in the back of his mind Tuesday.
Yeah.
He's got to have that in the back of his mind. A manager of his experience, I think even this will make him think a little bit, OK, how do I play this? On one hand, you say FA Cup is in their hands. They can win it. They need other results, potentially, to go their way. Arsenal could stumble against Bournemouth on the money. Don't forget, they only got 1-0. So it adds a bit of intrigue.
Do you think he overthinks it a little too much? Do you see Pep overthinking it?
Pep overthinks things.
Extra overthinking.
Claudia,
overthinking the overthinking.
When you interview him, you could see the wheels going round.
All right, well, let's get into the storylines, because there's lots of storylines to watch. You've all identified one that you're really looking at coming into this game. So, Jeff, kick it off for us here.
Yeah, we're talking about one of the most experienced managers, one of the most successful managers in world football in Pep, Callum McFarlane, the interim manager. And he's the interim manager for the second time, because don't forget, in January when Maresca left, he took over then. His first game, just a nice and easy game against Manchester City. Came away with a draw.
Yeah.
So, if you like, the fear has been taken away from going into the Lions' den. They've been on a terrible, terrible run of late. They lost 6 games on the trot. Now, of course, they're not all under Callum, but interestingly, at Anfield last week, switched to a back 3. So that is interesting. I think he actually... Now, you talked about the supply teacher leaving at the end of the season. Because they know he's not going to be in charge next year, it's a reverse of that, Tom. I think the players actually do respect him. Yeah. They are. This is Chelsea. This is literally shit or bust. This is their chance of rescuing a dreadful season. It's as simple as that. So we've seen Chelsea players not put in the required effort. I think they will go hell for leather on this. This is their chance, their best chance of European football by a distance. So, and if he pulls this off, this will be up there alongside, maybe not as great because it's not as senior a competition as Roberto Di Matteo when he won the Champions League with Chelsea in 2012.
It's massive.
Yeah, really good point. All right, Bogert, what storyline are you looking at for this game?
Oh, man, the final ride for Bernardo Silva, an absolute legend of this club as he's leaving in the summer. Let's talk about what he's accomplished with this group. He has been a key figure, a central figure to Pep Guardiola's Manchester City run. 6 Premier Leagues, 1 Champions League, 2 FA Cups, 5 League Cups, and 457 appearances. There's only 3 more left, 2 league games and the FA Cup final. This is a potential storybook ending for Bernardo Silva at Manchester City, as if he doesn't have enough trophies in his cabinet.
Yeah, he's been just the epitome of consistency under Pep Guardiola. We've seen him play in different positions and still have that impact and the leadership he brings. There was a point in the season, and I go back, you mentioned Anfield, where he was the driving force. That match against Liverpool at Anfield, where it just felt like the season was going away from them. City was just going to do what they did again and just wilt away. And he willed them on. They wouldn't be in this position pushing for another, domestic trophy, pushing potentially to get back and maybe pip Arsenal. Maybe.
The game against Arsenal. What was he like in that game?
Oh, he was an animal. He lives for the big games. And speaking of big games and big players, I'm going to go back to Chelsea because we can talk so much about City, and we often do when we come in here in the studio. But this isn't the Chelsea of old. One player, I should say two players that I'm keeping an eye on, the return of Levi Colwill.
Yep.
Watching him be in that Chelsea backline. Chelsea's backline has been a disaster this season. There was a point when I watched him against PSG for the Club World Cup that I thought to myself, if Chelsea can keep him healthy, which they didn't, he could revolutionize that backline for Chelsea.
He's been unlucky. He's been unlucky.
Yeah, he was a big reason why I came on here, and I was bullish about Chelsea could go and win a Premier League title in the next 2 seasons because of a player like him. He brings this sort of presence. He's such a calming influence on the likes of Trev Chalobah, who I expect to line up alongside him, and he just brings this aura and this sense of, okay, you give me the ball, I can handle anything. And I just think what might have been, had he been healthy, for Thomas Tuchel in England. I think he would have been in the fold as well, Jeff.
Yeah.
So all really good storylines to watch, Jeff. I really like that you speak about the motivation that they have. This is their chance to get European football. So let's take a look at the lineup and some areas, or if there's a player in particular that you think that Chelsea will be able to get the better out of this City side, who is also very motivated coming into this game. Jeff?
First one I'm looking at is, right, you do not want this fella running at you. You really don't. This is an absolute godsend to have him fit once again. There's nobody doubts Reece James's ability, his talent, whether he's at fullback or stepping into midfield. But it's the unreliability of his body that's the problem. Having him fit the final is massive, absolutely massive. Also, him playing as more of a 10, I think he enjoys that role. I think he's... They're in, bizarrely, although their form has been terrible, the draw against Liverpool and the actual feel around... At the moment, by Chelsea's standards, which is deafening volume, the noise, the unhappiness, the strops, the moans, the childlike complaining, actually seems quite calm. Because we're near the end of the season. This is... I mean, it's the greatest cliche ever. This is their cup final. This is it. This is them. These guys, they've got bigger fish to fry. They'll take it seriously. This is their game. The game is right here for them this season for Chelsea.
What about one player you didn't touch on, Cole Palmer? How do we get the best out of him coming into this game?
He's cold Palmer right now, isn't he?
Well, I think
that's all of us right now.
No, look, he's the elephant in the room, and I'm so glad you talk about this because it suited him much more when he was playing as a right-sided 10 in that back 3 system. And I was thinking about this, of why did he seem to just have a half a second more of time, space? One of the golden moments he had was he was in almost as the pure attacking midfielder, and he had that delicate first touch where then he sprung in João Pedro. The big thing, and when you go back and watch it time and time again, that's why Levi Colwill is so important. Levi Colwill's ability to receive the ball, evade pressure, and break lines. First line of confrontation, second line of confrontation for Manchester City. It gets the likes of Moises Caicedo going, who looked like he had just 5 minutes of time at different times playing those looping balls over the top to the likes of Marc Cucurella. And also, he was able to break the second line of confrontation into Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer looks static, he looks lackluster, he looks like he's lacking confidence, both in his body and in just decision-making. This is a massive game for Cole Palmer because it's not just for Chelsea and them winning a trophy, the financial implications. This is the sort of match that should he get the performance that Chelsea fans hope for, he can salvage something for a place in the England team.
Prediction?
Yeah, also as well, his form for Chelsea has dipped, and that will catch the eye of Thomas Tuchel as well. Everybody will be aware of it. He's definitely going with England, of course he is, but he could play himself back into form, these remaining 3 games, back into more, and get himself in a better frame of mind to go away with England. I mean, just look at those matchups again. You look at the names on either side. At their best, at their very best, Chelsea can handle Manchester City.
Yeah.
I look particularly at the fullbacks. They can handle them. Haaland and Cherky, that's big, big danger. Even with Levi Colwill in there, they can create an awful lot between them. On the day, I don't think it's a shoo-in for Manchester City. You know, the head says City because their form is better right now, but finals are one-offs.
Yeah, you say Chelsea can handle City, but they haven't been able to in the last 13 games. They haven't beat them in the last 13 games, so who knows?
Yes.
It either goes to 14 or they
But both of these teams unbeaten in this competition so far.
What's the
Good run of form.
What's the form guide?
Okay, predictions. I think you just said City. You think
No, I'm
City?
going to go Chelsea.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to go Chelsea.
Scoreline? What do you think? I'm gonna let you off that easy.
I'm going to go 1-0 Chelsea.
Ooh. Lahoud?
City.
City scoreline?
That was good.
3-1 City.
City.
City. Ryan Cherky runs the show.
Okay.
2-1 Chelsea after extra time.
Ooh. Interesting. I thought
Where are you going? Claudia, where are you going?
you say the winner first.
Enzo.
Oh, I like that.
I think I'm going to go 2-1 City. I'm going to go 2-1 City is what I'm thinking. We'll see how everything plays out.